Welcome back to our series of videos diving into the timeline section of Plottr. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the timeline toolbar. Now along the top, you can see the timeline toolbar, and inside of it, there are several options for how you view and interact with the timeline. So we'll go through them one by one. First is the filter. We'll go into the filter in more detail in a future lesson. But the filter has the ability to only show you scene cards that fit a certain criteria. So if we click on the filter button, we see several options: books, characters, places, and tags. So if we only want to see scene cards that are tagged with pig number 3, we can click on pig number 3, and now we only see the scene cards that have that applicable character. All of the other scene cards have faded to the background. We also see a note: the timeline is filtered. So to clear the filter, you can simply click on the X, and now the filter is removed. We also have the option to flip the timeline. So now it's in vertical mode. We can also view it in horizontal mode, completely dependent on your preference. And then in the attributes section is where you can manage all of your attributes. So if we click on this button, we see the motivation. We can also add additional attributes, such as conflict. And now this will appear on every scene card. We can also delete any attribute from this menu. And we'll look at this in more detail in another video. We also have the zoom for viewing the timeline. So right now, we're at the large zoom. We can move to medium, which reduces the size of the scene cards but allows you to see more of the timeline at once. And then at the small zoom, you can see that the scene cards are only colored dots based on the color of the plot line. But if you mouse over any of the scene cards, you'll still see the summary. You can also scroll through the timeline, or you can view it by beginning, middle, and end. Finally, you can save this timeline as a template that you can reuse over and over, and we'll go into that in more detail in a future video. You can also clear the timeline, which will erase all of the scene cards and chapters. And you can always undo anything in Plottr under the Edit, Undo menu. Or you can export your Plottr file to either a Word document or a Scrivener file for when you're ready to start writing. And again, we'll go into many of these in more detail in future videos, but you can access many of these features along the toolbar. Well, that covers our brief introduction of the timeline toolbar. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for all our latest information and updates. And I'll see you in the next video.